Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll dive into the murky reality behind one of America's most beloved first ladies. Jackie O, long hailed as a glamorous icon of style and sophistication, left behind a legacy that, at first glance, seems almost flawless. Yet, beneath the polished facade of glittering parties and high society acclaim, lies a world of strained family bonds, hidden scandals, and personal heartbreak that few people truly understand. Jackie Kennedy never got along with her younger sister Lee Riddell. Their father cruelly preferred the elder Jackie, calling her the most beautiful daughter a man ever had. Before Jackie's death, she actually cut her sister out of her will entirely, leaving her with nothing. Clearly, the sisters' relationship didn't improve as the years went by, though a recent book has revealed the chilling betrayal that may explain why Lee was left out in the cold. This strained relationship would later resurface in shocking ways, shaping decisions Jackie made even in her final days. Besides, Jackie Kennedy was often compared to Grace Kelly, the Hollywood star who became the Princess of Monaco. Their lives, though vastly different, often intersected in public perception as symbols of elegance and poise. Both women embodied elegance and grace, captivating the public with their poise and impeccable style. While Jackie reigned as America's First Lady, Grace ascended to royalty, marrying Prince Rainier III. Their lives, though on different continents, shared parallels. From their sophisticated fashion choices to their ability to command attention on the world stage, Jackie's refined demeanor and Grace's regal charm made them timeless icons of the 20th century. Decades after her tenure in the White House, Jackie Kennedy remains one of the most beloved first ladies in U.S. history, known for her iconic style, romances, and family life. Jackie's story is reminiscent of a gripping soap opera. Though she is now recognized as Jackie Kennedy and Jackie O, her birth name was Jacqueline Lee Bouvier. Born into New York's elite social circle on July 28, 1929, Jackie was the daughter of the infamous Wall Street stockbroker Black Jack Bouvier and socialite Janet Norton Lee. Despite her privileged upbringing, Jackie quickly realized that money couldn't buy happiness. It merely provided fabulous wardrobes and an abundance of drama. Jackie's charm manifested early on, particularly in her relationship with her father, who openly favored her over her younger sister Lee. This favoritism solidified a close bond between Jackie and her father throughout their lives, while Jackie's relationship with her sister took a different turn. Jackie's childhood home was as repressed as expected. The Bouvier presented an image of the perfect family, but behind closed doors, a different reality unfolded as Jackie and Lee vied for their parents' affection. Jackie's father, John, grappled with his own demons, alcoholism and serial infidelity. The Wall Street crash of 1929 exacerbated their troubles. The family's financial downturn led to the breaking point for Jackie's parents, with her mother demanding a divorce. The tabloids eagerly exposed the lurid details of the Bouvier's crumbling marriage. According to one of Jackie Kennedy's biographers, the divorce story took an even more scandalous turn, involving a cunning plan by Jackie's mother to expose her husband's infidelity. Jackie did not cope well with her parents' separation. At the age of 11, she became introverted, finding solace in reading novels and horseback riding. When her mother remarried a wealthy lawyer just 2 years after the divorce, Jackie responded with a belated rebellion, refusing to attend the wedding. At 22, Jacqueline Bouvier secured an internship at Vogue magazine, beating over 1,000 other applicants. However, she abruptly quit on her first day after being advised that working could harm her marriage prospects. Despite this decision, Jackie's path through matrimony didn't lead to the expected outcome. Her first suitor was Wall Street banker John Husted, whom she was engaged to at 22, but ultimately found immature and boring. The engagement ended within 3 months. Soon after, Jackie met the man with whom she would forever be associated, JFK. Despite running in the same social circle for years, it wasn't until March 1952 that Jackie Bouvier and John F. Kennedy were formally introduced. While they shared common interests, their connection was not a legendary love at first sight, but a more intricate and complex affair. According to a recent biography on Jackie Kennedy, the couple had 3 separate encounters before John F. Kennedy considered pursuing a romantic relationship. Even when they did start dating, Jackie wasn't entirely convinced that JFK was the one, expressing her reservations in her diary by describing him as having a funny body, skinny with toothpick legs. Considering this and her previous disinterest in her boring ex, one might wonder if Jackie O harbored a secret inclination for sharp wit. Despite their initial challenges, Jackie and JFK eventually developed a connection. Just a few months after their first meeting, John F. Kennedy proposed. However, Jackie played the role of the elusive partner, taking a whole month to contemplate his marriage proposal before finally saying yes in November of 1952. The delay was attributed in part to their busy schedules, Kennedy running for the U.S. Senate and Bouvier working as a journalist. But a dark reason surfaced as well. Reportedly, JFK's father Joe had stringent criteria for his son's choice of spouse, considering it not only a matter of romance but also a significant career move. If JFK aspired to become president, he needed a specific kind of woman by his side. With her pedigree, education, and impeccable fashion sense, Jackie perfectly fit the bill for Joe Kennedy Sr. Some sources claim he instructed JFK to propose. Jackie Kennedy's wedding to John F. Kennedy in 1953 was nothing short of a dazzling affair, one that set the standard for high society events in post-war America. Held in Newport, Rhode Island, this grand celebration wasn't just a wedding, it was a statement. With over 700 esteemed guests in attendance and a lavish reception for 1,200 more at the picturesque Hammersmith Farm, the event became the talk of the nation. It wasn't merely about 2 individuals uniting in matrimony, it was about the merging of 2 powerful families, each with aspirations that reached far beyond the elegant ceremony. Jackie herself was a vision of timeless beauty. Her wedding dress, a masterpiece designed by Anne Lowe, remains one of the most iconic bridal gowns in history, featuring layers of ivory silk taffeta, an intricate portrait neckline, and a voluminous skirt. It exuded sophistication and grace. Yet what many don't know is that the creation of this stunning gown came with its own drama. A devastating flood at Lowe's studio just weeks before the wedding destroyed the original dress, forcing her team to work around the clock to recreate it. Despite this setback, the dress was completed in time and continues to be a cherished artifact, preserved today at the Kennedy Library in Boston, Massachusetts. But the glamour of the wedding masked deeper complexities. While the world admired the fairy tale spectacle, insiders knew that this union was as much about politics as it was about love. JFK's father, Joe Kennedy, had orchestrated much of the match, seeing Jackie not just as a perfect partner for his son, but as a vital piece in JFK's political puzzle. Her poised demeanor, cultural refinement, and immaculate public image made her the ideal first lady in waiting. Jackie's choice of a simple yet elegant gown contrasted sharply with the ostentatious trends of the time, signaling her unique approach to fashion: subtle, refined, and effortlessly chic. It wasn't just a dress, it was a statement of who Jackie would become on the world stage. As the music played and the champagne flowed, few could predict the stormy road ahead for the Kennedys. For now, though, the world was captivated by the image of perfection that Jackie and JFK presented. a young, glamorous couple embarking on what seemed to be a golden future. Yet beneath the glittering surface of their celebrated wedding lay the first threads of the intricate and, at times, tumultuous life Jackie would lead. The event, unforgettable and meticulously crafted, set the stage for a life story that would captivate the world for decades to come. As the subject of JFK's infamous presidential libido, Jackie's awareness of her husband's affairs is a topic of curiosity. Of all the rumored affairs, none captured the public's imagination or scrutiny like JFK's alleged connection to Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn's sultry rendition of Happy Birthday at Madison Square Garden in 1962, performed in a skin-tight dress, only added fuel to the fire. The press couldn't get enough of the spectacle, and whispers of an illicit romance quickly spread across the nation. Behind closed doors, Jackie Kennedy was reportedly furious. According to biographers, she chose to confront the situation with her signature composure but also a sharp wit. When Marilyn allegedly called Jackie to discuss JFK leaving her, Jackie coolly replied, "That's fine. You'll move into the White House and I'll move out." The retort not only silenced the conversation but also highlighted Jackie's unflinching ability to navigate even the most humiliating situations with grace. The media frenzy surrounding Marilyn and JFK was a stark reminder of the challenges Jackie faced as First Lady, balancing a dignified public image while enduring her husband's well-known infidelities. Despite the scandal, Jackie's decision to remain steadfast cemented her as a figure of strength and resilience during an era when the scrutiny of public figures was relentless. Jackie was rumored to have maintained a secret correspondence with a reclusive poet during her years as First Lady. The letters exchanged between them delved into profound reflections on loss, resilience, and the pursuit of beauty amid chaos. These candid writings became a rare sanctuary for Jackie, offering her emotional strength to endure not only her husband's publicized infidelities, but also the relentless demands of her role. This platonic connection revealed a deeply introspective side of Jackie, one that sought solace in the quiet power of words. Years later, after her passing, a collection of these letters was reportedly discovered in her private study, shedding light on the depth of her personal struggles and the intellectual grace with which she navigated them. While some biographies suggest that she anticipated such behavior in their social stratum, others reveal a more complex narrative. A saying about women marrying men resembling their fathers resonates eerily with Jackie, who acknowledged that both JFK and her father shared undesirable traits, relishing the chase and resenting their conquests. Contrary to Jackie's composed demeanor, an unauthorized biography suggests she wasn't always tolerant of JFK's infidelity. Allegedly, Joe Kennedy Sr. offered Jackie a staggering $1 million to endure her husband's constant philandering. The amount would increase to $20 million if JFK contracted any diseases. Before her renowned marriage, Jackie had already left an imprint on society. An accomplished horseback rider, the 1948 debutante of the year, and an unexpected role as an inquiring camera girl for the Washington Times-Herald, where Jackie conducted man-on-the-street interviews with random citizens, a foreshadowing of her future as First Lady perhaps. Jackie's journey into motherhood during her marriage to John F. Kennedy was marked by profound challenges. Despite being pregnant 5 times, only 2 of her children, Carolyn and John F. Kennedy Jr., survived to infancy. Her first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage in 1955, and the second in 1956 resulted in the stillbirth of a daughter, Arabella. Complicating matters, JFK faced his own health crisis, undergoing spinal surgery in 1954, and dealing with Addison's disease. While JFK's numerous affairs generally didn't deeply trouble Jackie, some betrayals were intolerable. For instance, when Jackie gave birth to their stillborn daughter, Arabella, JFK was conspicuously absent, leaving her furious when she discovered what he was doing instead. He was on a Mediterranean yacht, engaged with one of his mistresses. To make matters worse, upon learning of Jackie's stillbirth, he displayed a lack of urgency. In his perspective, there was no need to fuss over something irreversible. That's heartless. Not surprisingly, Jackie was devastated by her husband's callous actions. In fact, his behavior following the stillbirth of their daughter pushed Jackie to the brink. It marked one of the only two occasions when his conduct was so egregious that she contemplated divorce. She ultimately chose to stay, persuaded by her family to accept the situation and make her marriage work. While on the campaign trail for her husband's Senate re-election, Jackie finally experienced the joy of giving birth to her first living child. Named Caroline, she arrived on November the 27th, 1957, after 2 previous pregnancies ending in loss. Jackie and JFK were overjoyed to welcome their daughter, commemorating the occasion with a glamorous photo shoot for the cover of Life magazine during JFK's campaign. The Kennedys recognized Jackie as a valuable asset to their public relations efforts. Whenever she joined her husband at rallies, the crowd swelled, doubling in size compared to JFK's solo appearances. JFK acknowledged his wife's popularity, featuring her in ads and deeming her simply invaluable to his public success. However, behind the scenes, the situation was less harmonious. Despite her public popularity, Jackie, inherently a classic horse girl, felt discomfort with JFK's massive crowds and the attention. Privately, she displayed shyness, far from the natural-born campaigner image perceived by the American public. Her sophisticated upbringing didn't necessarily equip her to endure such circumstances easily. In 1959, the Kennedys began preparations for JFK's 1960 presidential election. As a style icon with her Chanel suits and timeless fashion sense, Jackie took charge of her husband's wardrobe. However, fate intervened, and she wouldn't be able to assist JFK for long. Shortly after launching JFK's presidential bid in 1960, Jackie found herself pregnant for the 4th time. With a history of high-risk pregnancies, she opted for caution, choosing to stay home in Georgetown rather than accompany her husband on the campaign trail. Despite this, Jackie remained active by writing a weekly syndicated column, Campaign Wife, where she gave interviews and responded to correspondence on behalf of JFK. Unfortunately, JFK's behavior during this time wasn't exemplary. After all, shedding a lifetime of womanizing habits was not an instant transformation. On the campaign trail, JFK lived up to his reputation, engaging in several affairs, including a controversial one with Judith Exner, who had connections to the mob, an evident conflict of interest. Despite JFK's infidelity, Jackie maintained the image of a picture-perfect wife. Her elegant style frequently made headlines in women's magazines. However, her penchant for high fashion garnered negative press, alienating everyday Americans who couldn't afford such luxurious attire. In response to this backlash, Jackie attempted to downplay her elite background, though she continued wearing high-end fashion, notably Chanel, a brand still associated with her to this day. The campaign trail proved to be quite a journey for both JFK and Jackie Kennedy, but their efforts were rewarded on November 8, 1960, when John F. Kennedy became the 35th President of the USA. With their victory, the first couple brought a youthful and stylish revolution to the White House. Although the joyous times would not endure for long, in the early hours of November 25, 1960, Jackie Kennedy welcomed her son, John F. Kennedy, Jr. Sadly, this marked another challenging chapter in her journey to motherhood. John arrived 3 weeks premature, and for a harrowing moment he struggled to breathe, requiring a resident to assist by blowing air into his lungs. The difficult labor necessitated a 2-week hospital stay for both mother and son to recover. Apart from being the doting mother who carefully maintained her idealized image, Jackie became the First Lady to have her own press secretary, Pamela Turner. Together, they meticulously controlled Jackie's public image, crafting public statements and restricting access to photographs of her children. Given her husband's rather active personal life, having a PR team seemed like a prudent decision. But despite the image management, Jackie occasionally revealed glimpses of her true feelings. During a tour of the White House with a French reporter, she casually introduced one of her husband's secretaries, Priscilla Ware, as the girl who is supposedly sleeping with my husband. Jackie's intuition was accurate, as both Ware and her co-secretary Jill Cowan were indeed having affairs with JFK. Despite JFK's numerous mistresses during his presidency, one particular affair was especially hurtful to Jackie. JFK's lover, White House staffer Mimi Alford, who was just 19 at the time, claimed that their first intimate encounter occurred in an inappropriate room, with Alford losing her virginity in Jackie Kennedy's bed, an especially harsh betrayal. Interestingly, though Jackie isn't reported to have had any affairs, she attracted attention from high-powered gentlemen, including her husband's adversary, Nikita Khrushchev. The Soviet premier displayed a notable interest in Jackie, shaking her hand before JFK and even sending her a puppy whose mother had been one of the Soviet space dogs. While Marilyn Monroe is the most famous of JFK's mistresses, the affair actually bothered Jackie in a dramatic face-off. Described by biographer Christopher Anderson, Monroe called Jackie, claiming that JFK had promised to marry her. Jackie remained composed, telling Monroe that she could assume the responsibilities of First Lady while Jackie would move out. While she might have played it cool, this confrontation deeply affected Jackie, as Monroe was the only mistress who truly scared her due to the potential scandal. With the tragic death of Marilyn Monroe in August 1962, Jackie's fears lessened. However, more sorrow awaited. On August 7, 1963, Jackie experienced a heartbreaking moment as she gave birth for the final time. Her fifth child, Patrick Bouvier Kennedy, born 5 weeks premature, could only be delivered via emergency C-section. Sadly, he lived for just 39 hours before succumbing to hyaline membrane disease. After the loss of her son, Jackie understandably sank into a profound depression. The public, however, showed less understanding toward her coping strategies. A personal invitation from her friend Aristotle Onasis to recover on his private yacht was extended, and despite the president's initial reluctance, he eventually allowed Jackie to take a personal vacation. Yet this event raised eyebrows, even more so with what was to come. On November 22, 1963, the world was forever changed by the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Riding in an open-top motorcade through downtown Dallas, Jackie Kennedy sat beside her husband, smiling and waving to the cheering crowds. The moment was full of optimism, until it wasn't. At first, Jackie mistook the crack of gunfire for a motorcycle backfiring, a sound so ordinary it barely registered. But the horror of the situation became clear when Texas Governor John Connally, seated in front of them, let out a piercing scream. Jackie turned just as a second shot rang out, striking JFK in the head. In that instant, her life, like the nation's, was irreversibly shattered. Witnesses and photographers captured the chaos that followed. Jackie appeared to climb onto the back of the limousine, her pale pink Chanel suit streaked with her husband's blood. A Secret Service agent later speculated She was reaching for a fragment of JFK's skull, which had been blown onto the trunk. Jackie would later say she had no memory of those moments, even after seeing the haunting photographs. What came next would solidify Jackie's image as a symbol of strength and poise amid unimaginable tragedy. Refusing to change out of her blood-stained suit, she accompanied Lyndon B. Johnson to his swearing-in as the new president, standing stoically by his side. "I want them to see what they have done to Jack," she reportedly told aides, her voice trembling but resolute. The image of Jackie in that iconic pink suit became one of the most enduring symbols of the tragedy, a haunting reminder of innocence lost. The media, struggling to make sense of the day's events, praised her unwavering dignity. Headlines around the world painted Jackie as the heartbroken widow who held a grieving nation together. Yet behind closed doors, Jackie's pain was overwhelming. Recently uncovered letters revealed the depth of her despair. Writing to a trusted priest, she poured out her soul, confessing, "I am so bitter against God." In the months that followed, her grief spiraled into depression, and she found herself unable to sleep, haunted by the trauma of that day. Even her mother, who tried to console her, seemed incapable of understanding Jackie's devastation. "We've all lost Jack," her mother told her bluntly, "but it's been 8 months. You have to snap out of it." The words stung, but Jackie slowly began to rebuild herself. For many Americans, Jackie's response to the assassination was nothing short of extraordinary. Fans flooded the Kennedy family with letters of support, while the media scrutinized her every move. Public opinion overwhelmingly praised her strength, but there were whispers of criticism too. Some questioned her decision to remain in her bloodied suit, or accused her of using the tragedy to further immortalize JFK's legacy. Despite this, Jackie remained focused on preserving her husband's memory. She worked tirelessly to ensure that JFK's name would be remembered not just as a victim of violence, but as a leader of vision and hope. Her efforts led to the establishment of the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum, which became a lasting tribute to his life and work. Jackie's journey through grief and resilience became a story of inspiration. Her quiet grace under fire resonated with a nation in mourning, and her ability to transform personal tragedy into a larger mission of remembrance cemented her legacy as one of America's most iconic first ladies. Being beautiful, famous, and wealthy, men pursued Jackie, including diplomat David Ormsby Gore. Their travels together to Cambodia sparked rumors of her romantic involvement. However, recent letters reveal that Jackie declined Gore's marriage proposal and opted for another suitor, Greek business tycoon Aristotle Onasis. In 1968, Jackie entered into a marriage with him. Her new husband, a wealthy Greek shipping magnate, could provide the security she sought for herself and her 2 Kennedy children. But her sister Lee, who never had a strong relationship with her, didn't see it that way, and saw their ties further strained when Jackie married Aristotle. Why, you may ask? Because Onassis and Lee had been romantically involved, and Lee still harbored feelings for the Greek tycoon. Learning of Jackie's intention to marry Onassis, Lee reportedly expressed, "How can she do this to me?" Their already strained relationship never fully recovered after this perceived betrayal. While Jackie sought safety and financial security for herself and her children, Onassis married Jackie for her status as the ultimate trophy wife. Despite both achieving their initial goals, the couple found themselves in constant conflict over money, Jackie's spending habits, and their evident incompatibility. Numerous sources reported nights spent in silence, and Onassis began to refer to Jackie as the witch. By the 1970s, Onassis reportedly escalated his efforts to make Jackie miserable. He publicly flaunted his affairs, disclosed Jackie's extravagant shopping sprees to the press, and crossed the line when he hired someone to photograph his wife sunbathing on a Greek island without any clothing. As if that wasn't enough, he went further by publishing the explicit photos in a lewd magazine. Jackie, unaware of her husband's involvement, felt furious and humiliated, demanding his support to sue the publication. Little did she know that Onassis was the mastermind behind the entire scandal. Unsurprisingly, over time, Jackie's second marriage deteriorated. In 1973, Onassis's son Alexander tragically perished in an airplane crash. In their grief, the family sought someone to blame for the unfortunate accident, and as expected, they pointed fingers at Jackie. Onassis's daughter Christina attributed the plane crash to the infamous Kennedy curse, claiming it now affected the Onassis family and predicting, before long, she will kill us all. Apparently, Onassis took his daughter's words seriously. Shortly after his son's death, he initiated divorce proceedings against Jackie. However, just before Onassis could finalize his divorce and distance himself from his wife, he succumbed to respiratory failure in 1975. It makes one wonder about the so-called Kennedy curse. Following Onassis's death, Jackie engaged in a legal dispute with her stepdaughter, Kennedy Onassis, regarding the late tycoon's estate. Even with significant limitations under Greek law for non-Greek widows, Jackie, twice widowed, managed to secure a modest $26 million settlement. Jackie's first two marriages may have left much to be desired, but a third time proved to be the charm. She found happiness with Morris Templesman, a kind, soft-spoken diamond merchant. Despite their profound bond, they never officially married due to Templesman's religiously devout estranged wife, who refused to go through a formal divorce. In 1993, when a routine doctor's visit unveiled a harsh reality, a lump on Jackie's body led to a diagnosis of non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a battle she would fight with quiet dignity. True to her resilient nature, Jackie approached her illness with grace, undergoing chemotherapy with her steadfast companion, Maurice Templesman, by her side. Templesman became her rock during this difficult time, managing her care and shielding her from the invasive glare of public scrutiny that had followed her throughout her life. As the disease progressed, Jackie's once vibrant presence began to fade. The lymphoma spread relentlessly to her spinal cord, brain, and liver, robbing her of the vitality that had captivated the world. Despite the physical toll, she remained composed, determined to confront her fate on her own terms. Refusing to let the disease define her final moments, Jackie chose to spend her last days at home, surrounded by the familiar comforts of her Manhattan apartment. It was a poignant decision that reflected her lifelong desire for control over her image and privacy. On the evening of May 19, 1994, Jackie Kennedy Onassis passed away peacefully in her sleep at the age of 64. Her death marked the end of an era, but it also became a moment of reflection for millions. Crowds gathered outside her home to mourn the loss of a woman who had embodied strength and elegance through some of history's most turbulent moments. In the days following her passing, tributes poured in from around the world, praising her legacy not only as a First Lady, but as a cultural icon who had left an indelible mark on history. Jackie faced her illness privately, refusing to let the public witness her struggles. Even in her final moments, she maintained the poise and dignity that had defined her life. Her death marked the end of an extraordinary life, filled with triumphs and heartbreaks. For many, Jackie's passing felt personal. She had been a symbol of hope, grace, and resilience in the face of unimaginable loss. Her legacy lives on not only in the pages of history books, but in the hearts of those who admired her unyielding strength. Jackie Kennedy Onassis was more than a first lady. She was a figure of inspiration, a woman whose story continues to resonate, teaching us that even in the face of life's greatest challenges, there is beauty in perseverance. But although Jackie's legacy painted a rosy picture, the same cannot be said of her sister Lee. In a move that nobody seemingly saw coming, when Jackie passed, she made no provision for her younger sister Lee in her will. While this may seem harsh, a recent book suggests a shocking reason behind this apparent snub. Allegedly, before JFK assumed the presidency, he engaged in a passionate affair with Lee, and Jackie chose to serve an eye for an eye in death after being betrayed by her own sister. This surely takes sibling rivalry to new heights. A close friend to both Jackie and Lee even once claimed that the First Lady maintained a confidential list of her adversaries. And guess whose name made it onto that list? None other than her sister, Lee Riddell. Because of this, some speculate whether Jackie's marriage to Lee's former love, Aristotle Onasis, served as a belated form of retribution for the time when Lee had an affair with Jackie's first husband, President John F. Kennedy. Overall, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis led a life that was undeniably extraordinary, although not without its complexities. From her early years as a debutante and journalist to becoming the iconic First Lady of the United States, Jackie captivated the world with her grace and style, which became synonymous with her name and beyond. Facing heartbreak, including the tragic loss of her children and the assassination of her first husband, Jackie persevered. Jackie's legacy isn't just about her glamorous image. It's about the lasting impact she made on history. She will forever be a captivating figure whose story continues to be celebrated and remembered. As we pull back the velvet curtain on Jackie O's life, a tapestry of triumph and tragedy emerges, one marked by unwavering ambition, devastating betrayals, and a thirst for security at any cost. Despite the heartbreak she endured, Jackie remains an enduring icon whose complexities continue to fascinate historians and admirers alike. Her story reminds us that even the brightest public image can hide hidden shadows. If you found this journey through Jackie O's past revealing, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more untold Hollywood tales, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.